set up. We've got some maintenance to do here, doing some sharing, but we'll get going here very soon.
Make sure you're in there too, baby.
Sure that's showing up on
Uh-oh.
there. Yeah. I see us. Good. We're live on YouTube now. Write that down a bit. I'm going to be sharing to all of our Facebook groups, etc., so they know that we are also live.
I can't share on my personal page from this.
Can you change who you are?
Nope.
Hold on.
You won't let me. That's a problem.
Can you copy a link from it? Let's see. Sorry, guys. We're just getting through all the maintenance here, sharing this all out.
Hi, Carol.
In case you're wondering, we are going to be sharing both on YouTube and
Nope, can't.
Facebook Live.
Stuck on Ketomojogogo.
Okay. I'll see if I can go there and share that myself. It's YouTube one. Where are you at? Maybe cancel the Ketomojogogo one and go to your own page, if that's the case.
Oh, we got Carol on here.
Oh,
We got somebody that joined on our Keto
all right.
Macros.
We're good. Well, we'll just go with it from there.
I don't want to knock her off.
Nope, definitely not. I should go to the group. That'll help.
Appreciate anybody that follows us. It's nice.
Yes, this is great. Let's see. Let me share. I think I just shared it on my timeline. Maybe you can share it from my timeline.
Maybe.
Oh, that was the. Yeah, that's good.
Yep. I probably can.
Awesome. All right, we'll get going here shortly. Who all do we have? We have Carol.
Carol's watching us. Yep. Carol Roberts. One of my friends.
Yeah, so just
Somebody I follow.
say hi if you're just jumping on. That's fine.
She did.
Hi, Carol. Anybody else is jumping on. So we welcome to Coffee with Ketomojogogo. We really appreciate you joining us, enjoying our coffee. Hopefully you have a beverage as well that you enjoy. So we were asked, we put out a poll to say, hey, what topics would you like for us to cover? And two of them that came across, one was how important are the keto macros, and how do I get started in keto? So kind of give you a background on us. We have actually only been on keto since August, but between the two of us, we have lost over 100 pounds. I've lost 55, 57. She's lost 43. Yeah, we've lost a child between the two of us. So, I mean, I think we're having a great time with this, and we love helping other people do this as well. It's been very simple for us once we found that right formula, and that's why we like to share this stuff with people, because
it's been easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, because a lot of people try to overcomplicate this, and it's really not that difficult. I mean, the way we've been successful is we eat no more than 20 grams of carbs per day total, not net. We eat fatty meats and vegetables until we are full, and we don't eat when we're not hungry. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, obviously we
that
are
fall
eating.
signal hits quicker than it ever has before. So
yeah, so being full, being satiated is the key to this. And then we'll talk a little bit about how important the macros are as we get started and how to get started. But so, Carol, do you have any questions before we get into the topic too much? If not, that's okay.
Appreciate you being here.
Definitely. All right, so let's talk about the macros. Now, one of the things, the reason we are sharing on YouTube Live, Carol, and whoever's joining, is because it'll allow me to share my screen. And so if you go to our Ketomojogogo group site, we have a list there, a food list, which we like to, for people to take a look at, because it's really, in a nutshell, it is how we follow the ketogenic diet. And it's based on Dr. Eric Westman's, his practice. He is an obesity prevention and fixer. He has a practice in North Carolina where he has helped thousands and thousands of people. And so by using this method, it's like if people stay using this method, it's 100% effective. Now, there's other things you can do. I mean, so I mentioned the 20 grams of carbs. Well, from what he found out in his studies was that everybody, if it's on 20 grams of carbs a day or lower, will be in ketosis. Some people can still be in ketosis at 50 grams per day, but only about 50% of the people that works for. So we decided to go ahead and stick with what always works, and that's the 20 grams of carbs per day. So that's the reason we utilize that methodology and try to pass that on to other people. It's like, this is what works, and it makes it very simple. So I'm going to go ahead on my YouTube. I'm going to be sharing my screen here. So I went ahead and put a link out there in our group site saying, here's the YouTube one. You want to stay on Facebook. That's cool too, or both. That's great even. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see what that looks like, what that list looks like, or you can go to the YouTube site and see it as well. So basically this is what I'm sharing, and I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see that on Facebook. It's kind of hard to read, but I've got a PDF file that I'm sharing on YouTube right now. No, actually on Facebook it's not. Okay. You can see it's just fine. Okay. On YouTube it does. Yeah. So if I hold up the camera to YouTube, it would be completely reversed. So, all right. So at the top of that list up here, I've got those what I call the hard and fast rules for keto success, right? So within that, now if you normally think about a ketogenic diet, a lot of times you will hear, oh, well, you have to hit those macros, 5% carbs, 75% fat, and 20% protein, right? And that's what you
really have to shoot for. That's complicated.
It is complicated. I mean, and it's
just need to keep it simple for sure.
But what we have found by eating fatty meats until we're full, if you were to look at the macros, if you were to go and see how that panned out, you would see that you get pretty close to that 70 or 65% fat that you're looking for. So are the macros important? Yes, they are important, but only important that you keep your carbohydrates below 20 grams. That's about 5% for most people. And that's where that 5% comes from. But the problem with the percentage on the macros is if you start off at, X weight, say, 300 pounds, your 5% is going to be a lot higher than a person that's 150 pounds. Right. So
the more you got to lose, the more.
Yeah. So it's really better to stick with a hard number, 20 grams, than it is to try to figure out what that percentage is. I mean, you can use an app, you can track it that way. And we've done that. We do that. Yep. And as a matter of fact, we'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about how to start a ketogenic diet. But for maintaining this lifestyle, the way to do it is to 20 grams of carbs. And then if you're eating meats that are fatty enough, and what do we eat? What fatty meats do we like to eat?
Hamburger, steaks.
Mm-hmm. Ground lamb. It's our favorite. But, bacon. And there's other ways that, get fats as well. Avocados have a lot of fat. Mayonnaise has a good amount of fat. And they're the right kind of fats usually. And that's cheese. Cream cheese. So those are the things that help you get to those fat macros that you really are shooting for if you're trying to track that. The other thing to think about is that, all right, so if you're eating, say, protein, for example, or carbs, so 1 gram of protein or carbs is equal to 4 calories. However, 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories. So by even eating equal amounts, you're already eating 2 to 1 fat over whatever else you're eating. So that's really the reason it works. So if you're eating fatty meat, that's like 25% fat, you're eating a lot of fat calories and not really as many protein calories as you think. So again, the macros just work out by eating fatty meats, and you don't necessarily have to add other fats. A lot of people will push, add MCT oil to your coffee and butter your coffee, which we do sometimes because it's delicious, but it's not mandatory.
But you don't have to.
The mandatory part is eating until you're full. And that's how this works. It's not, I'll hit this magic number of macros. As I kept my carbs low, I ate until I was full, and then I didn't eat again until I was hungry. So a lot of this is just breaking that cycle of snacking. Right. Oh, it's time to eat, so I'm going to eat.
And carbs generally make you, you eat, and then you overeat, and then a few minutes later, you're hungry again. Well, with this, we've found that, hey, it's already 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We haven't eaten anything because we're not hungry yet. Right. All of a sudden, okay, we're hungry. Let's go eat something. We end up spacing it out further and further.
Right.
So we're so satisfied on this diet.
Yeah. And so, the thing is,
way of living.
If you're sticking to this food list, and you might notice on this food list, there's things like, we've got meat, and it's pork, hamburger, bacon, so maybe some low carb processed meat, sausage, chicken, duck, turkey, things that are normal things that you might buy anyway. But what's on this list? There's no processed food. Yeah. There's nothing
that's really important.
Yeah, there's no boxed hamburger helper or anything like that. There's nothing that's processed. Everything, all the ingredients are pretty much the name of the food. It's really eating real food, whole food. And
you got that from Casey.
That's right. Definitely.
She's a big influence on our life.
And
Casey
by doing that, I don't care what diet you're on. Who is going to argue that eating real food is bad for you? That's really what's important. I don't care if you're going vegetarian, if you're going vegan, if you're going low carb, if you're going low fat. If you're eating real food, you're going to be a lot better off than the standard American who's filling up their grocery cart with cereal and Pop-Tarts and hamburger helper and pastas and spaghetti. All these things that are really, they're just all processed food. Yeah, breads. Yeah. Everything that you can't really make easily from home is processed, right? If you can buy a piece of meat and cook it and season it up, it's not processed. It's real food. Artichokes, asparagus, broccoli. It's just food. And those are real foods, and that's what's important. So that is really my explanation of the macros. Is, do the macros matter? Yeah. But do they matter exactly? No, because the only one that really matters is keeping those carbs below 20 grams per day.
Right.
Total, not net. Why do we say total and not net? Because, you hear a lot of people say, well, you can just subtract the fibers and the sugar alcohols.
Yeah.
Which may, in some cases, work. If you're eating just broccoli and bok choy and things like that, that might work. But if you're eating, say, a Quest bar, which they use soluble corn fiber to add fiber to the food to magically make it look like the carbs went down.
It's still processed food.
It's processed. I just don't buy it. I think it's just going to hinder
They give
your
me
success.
Stomach aches.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now that we've been on keto for a while,
we can't even eat them. It causes.
Forget the processed food, people.
Yeah, it causes stomach issues when we eat processed food now. So, and that's one of the things, your body changes as you go over time in this. You'll
listen to your body more too. Before I was having stomach issues pretty bad before we were on keto. And now we're on keto. I know that if I eat one of those Quest bars, I have stomach issues again. Or if I eat a certain vegetable, oh, okay, I won't eat that one anymore because there's certain things that trigger me. I'm able to hear myself, what my body's saying to me better.
Yes.
Before I was eating all that junk food, I just ignored it, thinking it was something else.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people use a ketogenic diet for different reasons. Now, I'm going to go ahead and kind of amend that statement too about do the macros not matter. It really depends on why you're on the ketogenic diet. So most of the people that we run into are like us, right? They were morbidly obese in my case, right? At a metabolic crisis, right? I'm at a point where the doctor's telling me your blood sugar's too high, your insulin's too high. It's time to start taking insulin. It's time to take a metformin or some medicine like that. And so I hit this critical line in the sand. I'm like, okay, I need to do something. I don't want to be.
I was really worried about him.
Don't want to be on diabetic.
About following.
Yeah, I don't want to be on diabetic medicine the rest of my life. I don't want Shauna on diabetic medicine the rest of her life. We wanted to do something about our blood pressure.
We want to shorten our life. Yeah, that's for sure.
It was time to do something. And so most of the people we run into fit that. But there are a small subset of people that maybe they've had epilepsy, they've got seizures, they've got dementia, maybe Parkinson's disease, or
hypothyroidism.
I mean, that's not so much. I'm talking about the brain diseases, right?
Oh, the brain.
So in those cases, if you're on those for medical necessity for brain issues, the fat macro of 80% is you need to do it. You need to stay on that. You need to follow that exactly. But if your purpose is to lose fat, then really you have to shift it up a little bit to something that you can maintain. And the problem is if you're eating too much fat, your body will actually use that fat that's your dietary fat before your body fat will burn. So, I mean, it really is kind of, you have to find that right balance, and it's a little bit different for every single person. The other part of the macros that people are concerned about, remember that 20% protein, is people will say, well, if I eat fatty meat and all that, I might get too much protein. And some people tell me that if I eat too much protein, it'll stop my ketosis and it'll cause that to turn into glucose. But as it turns out, that's not necessarily the case. I mean, so when your body can turn protein into sugar, but it's on demand, is that as it needs it. It doesn't do it because it's there. Whereas with glucose or with carbohydrates, it has to go in that order. It has to do the carbs first before it burns the fat. So if you are eating a moderate amount of protein, right? You can eat fatty meats all day until you're full. When you get full, that's your body saying, okay, that's enough. You guess what you just hit? You hit a moderate amount of protein. Right. Where it's different now, if you're going out and buying a bunch of protein drinks that aren't going to tell your brain that you're full, then you might hit a point where you've taken in so much protein that you will now say, oh, well, I got to do something with that protein. So then it might turn it into sugar. It might stop your ketosis. So, I mean, really, you want to be cautious on not overeating, right? You listen to your body when it's full. Again, the protein drinks are another processed food. They're fake, right? You don't even know how bioavailable the protein drinks are. But, for meat, it's very, very protein is very available for your body, and it will tell your body, oh, I've had enough. So that's enough on the macros. If you have any other questions on that, feel free. Be sure and email us. We're at ketomojogogo@gmail.com. Any questions you might have, and you can also comment in any of our videos and things like that. But it sure is a lot easier if we don't have to go, hunting all over the place to find the comments. And that way we can directly respond.
It's all in one spot.
Right.
Easily accessible.
Yeah. All right. So the next topic is how do I get started on a ketogenic diet? Now, we actually did a video on this already. We'll talk a little Facebook groups. We have it there also. We posted it a few times. I'll post it again today when we get done with this. But how to get started on a ketogenic diet, depending on where you are. All right. So if you're right now on a standard American diet, you're eating 300 to 400 carbs per day.
Better just cut down your carbs first.
Yeah. I don't recommend jumping straight to keto. I mean, that would be difficult.
Cut out the Cokes, cut out the chips, cut out all the processed food, a little bit at a time.
Yeah. So if you see
don't
that you're
shock your system.
Don't shock your system. If you're eating 400 carbs a day, you don't want to go jump to 50 or 20. That will throw your body into shock. So like Shauna was saying so analyze what you're currently eating. If you're eating a lot of chips and Cokes and things like that, start cutting those down. Give yourself a couple of weeks. If you've been overweight for a long time, 2 more weeks to align yourself to get ready for this diet is a lot better than failing because you tried too hard, too fast, and then you fail. Yeah. So we don't want to see that, right? We want you to, in a controlled fashion, get your carbs down so you can.
We were low carb for a long time before we went keto, and that made it easier. Mm-hmm. I think if we had just jumped into keto, it might have been a little bit too difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have done that.
Some people can. Not saying you can't.
Not saying you can't, but it's riskier, right? It's cavalier, it's brave, but not necessarily the best thing for you. Best thing for most people, I think, would be to just
step it down.
Get down to your carbs where they're manageable. And along with that, I would say track. So we used MyFitnessPal, especially when we first got started, right? Just so we wanted to know, well, how many carbs a day am I actually eating? What is this percentage? So you can program your macros and you can say, oh my gosh, I'm eating that many carbs a day. I'm eating 350 carbs a day.
You will be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, if you're eating 2 value meals a day and drinking Cokes and a bowl of cereal in the morning, ice cream at night, you'll easily approach 400 carbs a day.
Even if you're eating healthier, like you're doing brown rice and you're gone with the wheat bread and stuff, you're still
your body doesn't care.
A lot more carbs than you think. Yeah. You start tracking that. You think you're eating raisin bran, that's healthy. Mm-hmm. Then you look at the carbs on the box.
Yeah. I mean, your liver doesn't care if it's whole wheat or wheat. If it's white wheat, bleached wheat, or whatever. Carb is a carb. And so that's one of the things that we have to learn and unlearn about our previous lifestyle. So, also, another thing I would say is take note of why you want to go on the ketogenic diet. I mean, in our case, we tried every other thing, right? We did low fat,
Weight Watchers,
yeah. We did Jenny Craig, we did Nutrisystem, we
Taekwondo, and running.
We ran, we did 10Ks, 5Ks. We continued, we would yo-yo and weight, and eventually we'd start creeping back up. This is the first time in our lives that has not been an issue, and
it's just creeping down.
Yeah, it's just easing down, and we're not having to do anything difficult as far as that goes. So, why are you doing it? Take note of that. Do your research. Find out what might happen, and then we should
watch The Magic Pill.
Yeah,
on Netflix. Magic
Pill is a great documentary.
It's going to open your eyes to some things that we were told growing up. And even told in school what the healthy foods were. It's you need to turn that pyramid upside down.
Yeah, again, we have to unlearn a lot of what we have currently learned. All right, so why you're doing it, why it's important to you. And again, like in our case, we were in a metabolic crisis, right? So to me, it's been easy to maintain because I don't want to go back to the metabolic crisis. I don't want to go back to being on the edge of type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, I want to hurting.
And that's the other thing for us is we both have autoimmune diseases, right? And so it has given us quite a bit of relief from that. Now, I'm not making any claims that it's going to reverse your rheumatoid arthritis.
We're not a doctor. We're not doctors, but we know what we've experienced.
All we can say is we feel a heck of a lot better. We have a lot more good days than bad days. And that's how you measure a lot of these with autoimmune diseases. My inflammation is greatly reduced, right? Back in 2012, I was exactly the same weight I am now. So, I mean, there are other ways to lose weight. But if I look at some of the pictures and my face was still swollen, my neck was swollen, my legs were still swollen because I was still retaining a lot of water.
Plus, we've been on steroids a lot.
Yeah, we've been on steroids over the years. Not now, right? Nope. I was able to stop taking Humira a couple of months ago now.
I stopped taking Plaquenil for my lupus.
Right. So, I mean, not telling people to do that, by the way. If you do this,
stay under doctor's
listen to your doctor. I let my doctor know that said, hey, look, I'm coming off the Humira. partly because I was starting to have side effects that I'd never had before. That is one of the issues with Humira. It makes your body with keto, the ketogenic diet, it makes your body react a little bit differently to what's around you. Like it makes you very sensitive to alcohol. You're a cheap drunk on keto. It might cause your body to react differently to medicines you're taking. So in my case, I started getting upper respiratory infections. Taken Humira for 15 years and never had that problem. Started taking it for 2 weeks on keto. Bam, I got upper respiratory infection. Like, oh, what's going on here? I was so sick. I was sick. I got better, and then bam, I got hit with a worse one. So, I mean, I could have done one of two things, right? I could have said, well, keto makes me sick. It's just ruining my immune system. But if I remember correctly, Humira is a immune system suppressant, right? So it was actually causing my Humira to work better. And so what I instead did is I talked to my doctor and said, look, I'm going to get off Humira for a while and see what happens. To my surprise, I didn't need it anymore. I wasn't hurting nearly as much anymore. I mean, occasionally one night I'll have to take it and I'll leave. But I was taking a leave every night before I went to bed on top of all my other medications just so I could sleep.
He's not slept in bed for very long, for like 20 plus years. So.
Right. And now I sleep in bed every night. I sleep deeply.
He sleeps good.
Sometimes I don't hear things at night. I used to sleep very lightly. But so that kind of maybe kind of on a tangent here, but those are the reasons that we started in the ketogenic diet. And that's how we started out. So that's what I'm saying. How do you start? You make an assessment of yourself, right? You ask your brain, why do I need this? How do I prepare for this? And then you go down that path. And then you start chopping down those carbs into the reasonable amount, and then jump in, the next meal, no carbs, don't eat carbs.
And if you're already doing keto and you eat a little carb, get back on your next meal.
Yep. Don't
cut
wait.
Out the carbs.
I mean, we're right in the middle of the holiday season here right now, right?
It's hard.
So it can be hard for a lot of people. So say you're at work and you pick up a donut and you eat it and you go, damn, crap, I'm off. I can't do keto. I just screwed it all up.
No.
Wrong. Just your very next meal. No
mindset.
You can reset the very next meal, very next second. After you finish that donut, you're done.
Stop beating yourself up about it.
Don't beat yourself up. Be careful though, if you eat carbs, you might not feel so well.
I'm not encouraging anybody to cheat.
No.
It happens sometimes.
We're not going to validate your weakness. Because we can do it, right? We've done it. Over the years, we've done other diets and ate in moderation and cheated once a week or whatever. And then maybe a holiday becomes a holiday week, becomes a holiday month.
Yeah, I've gotten rid of 43 pounds.
We don't want to
gain it back
sabotage.
A lot faster than you've lost it. So I've worked too hard.
Yeah.
I'm not cheating myself. Cheating's a bad word, but anyways.
Well, I mean, you're cheating yourself. Yeah. I mean, you're sabotaging your progress. And, you are an adult. I'm assuming if you're watching here, you get to decide what you put in your mouth. You get to decide.
Nobody else.
Nobody does, right?
Else.
You can't. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you how we did it and what always is 100% successful. Now, if you don't want to be 100% successful, then you might do something else. But this is just our point of view and what has worked for thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Again, we always recommend, join our Facebook groups, right? Ketomojogogo. We have a new one it's called Keto for Autoimmune Diseases. And that one's great for if you have very specific, in that crowd, which seems to be growing, that autoimmune disease. Everything is getting classified as autoimmune, which seems to be glucose related, sugar related, we're finding out. So it seems to be helping a whole lot of people. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ketomojogogo. We have a blog, Ketomojogogo.com. These are all resources that we have available for you. On our Facebook groups, we have our food lists. We have food pyramids. We have all of these sorts of things to help you through this. And we are doing this for ourselves to keep ourselves honest.
Yeah.
That we are,
we want to inspire others.
We want to help other people, but we also want to make sure that we are just keeping ourselves honest, and that's just what this is all about for all of us. So, like I said, we have a new group that keto for autoimmune diseases, and that's got a few, like 14 people already just from the other day. So that's growing. We're sharing this on all of our channels, and so we're just really excited about this, guys. So,
if you know somebody you think they might benefit from it, definitely share.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we'd appreciate it. We, anybody that's encouraging us, we'll do the same back.
That's right. We partner with other keto groups as well. We talk with the Greek Ghost Keto folks. They do live streams, and we coordinate with them.
Yep.
We're getting ready to do a collaboration with Kenny Springer Fitness. He's in Illinois. We're going to do an interview with him.
Fantastic guy.
Yeah. I'll be interviewing my brother who does keto on the road. And so we'll find out how he does it, because he lives full time in an RV and travels around the country.
And somebody that's inspired us is Go Keto with Casey.
Yeah.
Can look her up too.
Yeah, we chat with her a couple times a week. So there's a lot of resources out there, and we want to be one of those for you. Okay. So, all right. So do you think anything else we have to add today?
Any questions?
Any questions? Again, just reach out to us, and we will be more than happy to do this. Also, I recommend subscribe on YouTube, because that's where all of these videos will be sourced from. Right now, we're also doing a simulcast on Facebook, and Facebook will not have all the features. I can't share my screen on Facebook like I do on YouTube. So that's, we won't be able to share.
But all the resources are there.
Yeah, all the resources in our Facebook group. But when we're doing a live video, I'd like to be able to share things with you too, like this food list. So I'm just really excited about this, guys. So if you have any questions, give us an email, ketomojogogo@gmail.com, or comment on our videos. Follow us on Facebook, comment on our support group, and we're just excited to help everybody out that we can. All right, guys. Take care.
Bye, guys.